Hi. The Minecraft movie is an absolute modern masterpiece of cinema that is a complete and utter train wreck. It is one of the most entertaining movie experiences I have ever had in my life, albeit probably for the wrong reasons at a lot of points that I cannot recommend more if you want to waste an evening watching something. It is such a mess of absurdist humor that it wraps around to being so damn good and providing one of the most visceral movie experiences since the dawn of cinema. And I'm not being ironic with that. I think this is a movie worthy of study and critical acclaim, in part for moments that are brilliant and in equal part for moments that are so miserable I want to stop watching the movie because I've simply had enough. This is my actual college degree. I spent 4 years studying arts and English literature and basically media in general. I've not seen this degree since I graduated college, which would have been 9 years ago. I've got it back purely to put it to good use to analyze a Minecraft movie, and I hope my professors and parents are proud of me. There is so much I want to say about this film, to the extent that this analysis has completely blown out of proportion already. This analysis is longer than the actual Minecraft movie. So if you haven't seen it, I might recommend that you go watch this movie first, because I'm about to spoil absolutely everything, and it will take less time to watch the movie itself. I think the best way to acknowledge this movie is that it knows it's stupid from the offset. The opening line simply and plainly stating,
"The overworld."
If you haven't played Minecraft, what in God's name is that supposed to mean? You're basically taking game terminology and just vomiting it at your audience. So kind of off the bat, the movie assumes that, hey, you got a rough idea what Minecraft is, yeah? This is a Minecraft movie, yeah? You kind of know what that is. And it follows this up with children yearning for the mines, which is quite a popular meme from what I understand these days. And then it even leads into a yup, that's me scene with Steve just working in a doorknob factory in our fictional town of Chugless. This movie knows it's stupid right off the bat. This is some very cliche and cheesy stuff that we are very well acquainted to from our 80s and 90s family films, especially the yup, that's me. It already knows that it's stupid, and this is the engine by which the movie operates. It knows it's stupid, but it wants you to have a good time anyway. It is a movie that acknowledges its own artificiality, and the best way you see this is in this opening montage. We are just jumping. We are going so quick. We start with Child Jack Black. He's grown up. He's working a dumb job in an office and he hates it. And then he just goes back to the mines. The old man, he's the same age because it's stupid. Why not? And he goes into the mine, and what does he find? Of course, it's the keystone to the world of Minecraft, because it's a Minecraft movie. We have to get to Minecraft as fast as possible. Little Timmy wanted to see this movie because he wants to see Jack Black punch a creeper in the face. The movie cuts real quick with its exposition, and suddenly it's Jack Black being shocked by CGI in the world of Minecraft on one of the most blatant uses of a blue screen or a green screen that I've ever seen in my life. I mean, God forbid you make it obvious that you're using a green screen. But this is a very high budget production movie, and not just me, an Irish lad in my office, recording this from home instead of doing such things as making my parents proud. And it's kind of shocking that the movie is so blatant with this, and you kind of see it throughout. But it's how they filmed the movie, so we're just gonna have to get on board with it it looks really silly and really jarring throughout. And it's really hard to not notice. Just look at Jack Black's hair in literally any scene in the movie and you could just see through the illusion. We go very quick with Jack Black learning the world of Minecraft. He builds his houses and then suddenly it's actually quite a shocking turn for the movie as he's crying in a corner screaming as zombies are trying to kill him. There's something weirdly violent about this movie where stuff packs quite a punch. There's a lot of explosions and a lot of just casual death that we will see as we go through it. It kind of toes the line between being a colorful kids movie and then having this horrifying realism that's inflicted upon Jack Black where he is fearful for his life in a lot of these scenes. And his lines reflect this. He will deliver this with a seriousness and gravitas as the movie goes on in typical Jack Black fashion.
Crusty femur bones, strange ruins, and a conveniently placed chest. Flint and steel.
Once again, typical Jack Black fashion.
The nether, gold, piglin broods, the woodland mansion, village, Midport village. They're the villagers.
Did I mention this is a movie with Jack Black?
TNT, firework rockets, boots of swiftness, diamond armor, full set, and blades for days. I am Steve.
I don't think his name is Steve. That's Jack Black in a blue shirt. As stupid as the exposition dump montage is, it's at least fast and it's quite colorful. They just get to the point. They're not dwelling on it too much. It's Jack Black in Minecraft. That's the setup for the movie you need to know. Until suddenly, he's made a wolf friend. And it's his best friend. And his name is Dennis. Sure, Dennis and Jack Black have the best time in this universe. Until they unfortunately and inevitably
Flint and steel.
open the dark portal to hell, where the Piglin army wants to destroy the overworld to harvest all its gold and riches, and I think that's their motivation or something. They just like gold a whole bunch. Malgosia is our evil pig demon for this movie, who wants to do evil pig demon things. Just as fast as Jack Black is captured by the armies of hell, he also just escapes, and it's basically a throwaway line. Jack Black just says, "Hey, I've escaped. We got out." And he sends Dennis on his way with the cube. We're not even wasting any time. We don't need a prison break. The film just needs you to know, hey, Jack Black is imprisoned here. That's the setup. We're not dwelling on it. We're only 5 minutes into the movie, and we've gone from Jack Black growing up, working an office job, leaving the office job, going to the world of Minecraft, living years of his life in this world, meeting the armies of hell, escaping the armies of hell, sending his dog out into the real world again, and then being imprisoned again. And that's a lot of exposition to cram into 5 minutes and to make as colorful as this movie does. This movie doesn't really want to dwell on it. We just want a simple premise where we can have fun and zany moments in the world of Minecraft featuring our man
Steve.
And it's basically how the movie is set up, and I have bad respect for that because a lot of movies waste a lot of time on this exposition setup. Here we're just kind of to the point. It's stupid, sure, but the movie kind of knows that it's stupid. It's a very self-aware movie. It knows it's a movie, and even from these opening shots, the film is showcasing this. If you're gonna be stupid, then you might as well just embrace it. Seems to be a philosophy at the heart of this movie, and you can't help but respect that. A quick aside, but Jack Black's delivery of the line where he's dancing with the pandas and the cow makes me want to die. And I've never had that visceral of an experience, but it's the kind of humor that I would akin to Facebook minion memes that your mom loves and keeps sharing with you despite you repeatedly asking her to stop. There's something about the cow's sassy expression that makes me genuinely uncomfortable, and this is my first instance of wanting to walk out of this movie experience because this is pretty cringe. This is really embarrassing, and it's scenes like this that are going to get me bullied in school if I lavish this movie with too much praise. We get back to the stupid and absurd of this movie very quickly with Jason Momoa's character, that is Garrett the Garbage Man Garrettson, a very buff gamer who likes to blowtorch his steaks, inhale protein powder, and likes to remind everyone that he was a world champion back in 1989. What a silly thing to do, to remind everyone constantly of a past gaming achievement as if it was some kind of comedy. We understand this guy is an actor immediately, just playing a stupid part. The man is a caricature, and it's great because in a lot of sequences, this guy is so tough, this is so cocky, he's arrogant, and then he gets the shit kicked out of him. And it's so entertaining to watch this massive man cry like a baby and get himself so horrendously beat up. There are so many shots where he's just going flying and screaming. And it's great. I love just the dissonance between his presentation and how he actually acts. He's just very funny and very entertaining to watch. His character is another reason why I would say this movie celebrates its own silliness and absurdity. I would argue that between Jack Black and Jason Momoa, they are the stars of this movie. Of all of the characters, they are the ones who get the most screen time. And all of the best bits of this movie is when the two of them are interacting in particular, because they are our two stupid funny men for this movie that understand this is all nonsense and they're playing characters. There's not much seriousness to them. And when there is seriousness to them, it's the worst parts of the movie.
Sorry about your finances.
Shut up, Steve.
And don't worry, because we are absolutely going to get to all of those awful scenes as we go along. I know I'm going through the movie scene by scene from the start, which is very cliche for a video essay format, but I genuinely believe it is the best way to build this experience, because the crux of my argument lies on a particular scene that even if you haven't seen the movie, you've no doubt heard of, and we will be getting to that and talking about that a lot. We learn that Garrett is in debt, and his solution for fixing this debt is to try and go to a storage lot auction where a rare Atari console is being auctioned off. And it's one of these moments where you have to question, is this a kid's movie? Because there's a lot of sexual tension between Jason Momoa and the auctioneer here. There's an innuendo inserted into it as well, with just enough of a pause that the film is aware of what it's doing.
It's got a huge can of mixed nuts.
There's enough of a pause between can and of nuts that it's implying a different slang meaning of when you say someone has a big can. This can refer to a couple of things that your dad unfortunately knows from his time on the internet. And for fear of getting this video demonetized, I'll tell you when you're older. But the film seems to be implying something when it follows up with a very cheeky a can of nuts, because that is also kind of dirty sounding. And you can't help but smile and be like, wait a minute, I thought this movie was what I was going to take little Timmy to, and he's going to have a good time here. But no, the movie seems to be aware of this strangely adult humor. The auction happens, some YouTubers show up, Dan TDM loses his bid. Sorry, Dan, he doesn't have his diamonds anymore, apparently. And Jason Momoa gets very upset when the Atari console is not in the box and only just this lame crystal to the Minecraft dimension. He goes off in his car, it breaks down, he screams like a baby once again, and there's something very satisfying about it. And then we have the introduction of the kids. So the kids just exposition dump. We learn very quickly that their mum is dead, and neither of them really want to move to Chugless. Also, Dawn is the realtor who has given them their place, and it's kind of sad and a weird low moment of the movie where we really just want to think about these kids' dead mom. And it's weird. It feels really out of place. They're doing this to set up Natalie, the older sister's motivations in this movie, but it's a weirdly jarring bit because after all of this silliness, we're now thinking about these kids' dead parent. And this is a movie where we just had Jack Black dancing with a panda. So there's a lot of tonal whiplash, for lack of a better description, happening here. And it's in these moments where the movie tries to be very sincere and serious that it almost falls apart because it's quite bad. You almost laugh at how absurdly awful this moment is and how it has shifted so much from the previous scenes. Which I feel terrible saying, by the way, because we're supposed to be treating this with sincerity. You know, these kids' parent is dead. But it's so ham-fisted and just so dropped like a bomb on the plot that it's stupid. In particular, something that highlights this is Dawn wishes the kids well and says that she's sorry about their mom, to which the scene just cuts to screaming animal noises.
I'm really sorry about your mom.
Thank you.
Chill out, man. I'm coming. Yeah, really.
Why? Natalie is established in these scenes as the new parental figure for her sibling, Henry. And Henry is this creative kid who basically wants to be an inventor and make a jetpack. Henry goes to meet with Garrett in the game shop on his way to school, and we sort of have a straight man, funny man comedy routine between the two of them. This may be a controversial take, despite me enjoying the characters of Jack Black and Jason Momoa so much in this movie. Henry, the younger kid here, actually plays a really good straight man to the funny men in this movie.
Also notice that you're wearing Velvet Mischief. It's a wonderful cologne, and I strongly believe that every young man should have his own signature scent.
I didn't think I applied very much.
Garrett gives him a hot garbage tip that is literally hot garbage and kind of goes nowhere. And there's this little aside and almost nod to the camera from Henry that is telling it, it's like, what did you just say? And it's great. He kind of plays up the stupidity of the other men. He's the serious foil to them. And I actually enjoy this part of Henry's character when he's with the other funny men in this movie, because he does play off them well. I want to also say at any point in this movie, if I'm calling out just moments where it's kind of rough or insincere, it's no fault really of the actors. It's to do with direction, it's to do with script, it's to do with other choices in the production process. You know, especially for the child actors, we shouldn't really be overly critical of them because they are literally children in these scenes, and you gotta have mad respect for what they're trying to do. It's a lot of pressure at this age. When we get to the school, we are introduced to one of the other stars of this movie, that is Jennifer Coolidge, playing the principal at the school. And this is where the movie just seems to be so wildly inappropriate. She mentions to this poor child who has just showed up and his mom is dead. It's like, hey, you probably heard that this school is terrible because of the rankings. Don't worry about that. By the way, let me tell you about my divorce. And it's so inappropriate, and Henry does a good job on just picking up on this and being like, are you really telling me this? Should you be doing this right now? And it's great. It's great. It's another moment where the film kind of knows that it's stupid and everything's a caricature. I love these scenes with Jennifer Coolidge. She's actually really funny in this movie, and she has one of the best side plots that we'll be touching on quite a bit. Similarly, Henry's teacher, when the class begins, just openly says that financially, I'm living in a nightmare, which is, again, very inappropriate to be telling your class of children. There's also this throwaway line that I love from one of the bullies who immediately starts to pick on Henry, who straight up says, my dad says that math has been debunked. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what to say. It's all fake news now. You know, fuck your gravity. We have a little art class montage, which is kind of lame. Not much really happens here, but we do get the Henry building a kick-ass jetpack, and at the very least, it moves quick. But of course, the jetpack is a disaster. It strikes the Chugless chip factory where Natalie happens to work, and poor Chuggy, our character mascot, quite violently destroys the factory and just rolls off the side of it. There's something really violent about it. And then there's something also very funny when Henry's teacher just legs it out of there. It's like, I've never met you. I don't want to claim any responsibility for this. That man is gone. There is something very violent and visceral about this movie when it wants to have these moments. It likes a big explosion. It likes things just being absolutely annihilated. And it doesn't seem to shy away from that, even when it's in the real world still. Like, that factory is fucked after this. Chucky has wrought a day of devastation and destruction. Millions has probably been lost in asset damage. I'm surprised Natalie isn't being sued in some capacity. She's probably going to prison after this. That's how bad it is. And there's something about the sound effects when Chucky is just tearing it through the building, where it's like, oh god, like, this is really bad, and you really feel that when you see it. It's great. I love the violence in this movie. Also love throwaway line that you shouldn't call your party bags salt sacks. There is something weirdly inappropriate about that, and again, it's just quite funny. You can't help but laugh. Because Henry is a little bit embarrassed about the millions in property damage he caused, he decides to call Garrett to pick him up and act as his uncle. And the exchange between Garrett and the principal here...
Garbage man, huh? Oh, you can bag me up and take me to the curb anytime. But you gotta bungee the lid, because I got a lot of raccoons in there.
Whoever divorced you's a complete idiot.
What is going on in this movie? They're just hitting on each other. They want to get down and bone. I don't know how else to describe this scene. What is this doing here? But this is great. This is great. It's so wild and inappropriate, and we as the audience can recognize that this is inappropriate, that we can't help but laugh, because we know from the usual cliches of these kind of movies that this scene should not be here. This should not be happening. And it's really funny because it's so stupidly out of place in this movie. But again, that's what the movie is doing throughout. It recognizes that it's a movie. It knows the conventions of what a movie is. It lines up our expectations and then is like, hey, let's see how absurd and inappropriate can we make it in these scenes. When we get back to Garrett's game shop, we finally pick up the idea of, wait a minute, this is a movie about Minecraft. We should get back to Minecraft soon. And Henry notices the orb and the little vessel for it in the game shop, to which Garrett picks up the note saying, hey, absolutely don't combine these. Even if you're struggling and in debt, it's a terrible idea. Of course, they put them together, and Henry starts getting weirdly pulled away to the mine shaft. They just start walking. I'm guessing that they drove to the mine shaft because it seems quite far out of town, but there's not really any indication that they got in the car. They kind of just end up there. Natalie and Dawn pick up on what has happened to Henry and the fact that he's in an old abandoned mine shaft and that he destroyed the Chuggy chip factory. To which Natalie is very upset. The gang meets up in the mine shaft and we're treated to some very awkward I'm being pulled into the portal footage, where I'm not entirely convinced they are being pulled into the portal. Honestly, they're all kind of just there. There's something about the way that Henry's leaning into it. It's like, no, that kid just wants to go to the world. That kid's like already getting expelled from school. He's gonna be in prison probably for the rest of his life for the massive property damage he's caused. At this point, the weird ominous portal in the mine shaft, like, that's just an easy out. This could take him to the innermost circle of pandemonium, and it's probably not gonna be as bad as the hell that's awaiting him in Chugless. But suddenly, the gang is in the world of Minecraft. Wow. I do love when we have the Minecraft music sort of swell up in a lot of these shots. There's a lot of homages to the Minecraft soundtrack that you see through this movie, and it's actually just really sweet. There is something very common about hearing the familiar Minecraft music notes that almost brings us back to our own childhood and the wonder that we first experienced when we first played a game such as Minecraft. I should mention at a point like this that Minecraft is genuinely a game that I really love. I believe it's one of the best video games ever made because of its endless creativity and the fact that it is a game where there is no clearly defined objective. You simply make your own. And it can be anything. I think they did a okay job with the world. The main exception I have is the animals. I'm sorry. Pink sheep is kind of freaky to me. And there's something that looks a bit too like a minion for every single animal in this film. And I'm very sorry to say that. But the world itself is nice. They got the blocks good. I like how they did the blocks. I also love this little bee friend. He's just cute. I'm gonna call him Benjamin. We have another moment of rough and awkward humor where Dawn just lands in the world and complains about her butt.
Oh, man, my butt.
This movie is a modern cinematic masterpiece. In an ironic twist, I would call this line kind of ass. The gang goes off to interrogate a sheep, and suddenly, a testificate escapes the Minecraft world. Fun fact, they used to be called testificates. Not as many people remember this, but back in beta, when villagers were introduced, that was the official name for them. I will refer to the Minecraft villagers as testificates quite often, because 1, I'm old, and 2, it sounds quite inappropriate. Testificate escapes into the real world. We try to interrogate a sheep, and even from these scenes, the movie is introducing that, yeah, we treat this whole world as if it's a video game. Garrett's approach to it, where the sheep is a quest giver, is the easy bridge and connection to make. Granted, he is a gamer, so he probably sees a lot of things this way, but we know as the audience, this is a video game world. We've had Steve placing blocks and having his build montage where he just kind of magic bullets it into existence. It's a video game world, and we kind of just accept that as an audience. Because how could we not? It's literally called a Minecraft movie. There's no point in expecting anything else. We do get some typical evil villain stuff here as well. Malgosia is evil. She kills a piglin that's doing a nice drawing of a house. It's quite violent. They turn into a pork chop. We don't really dwell on this scene, but it actually is quite funny, and it's just video game logic. You're not supposed to take it seriously. God forbid a piece of Minecraft media tried to get you to take a moment where a character turns into a pork chop seriously. That would be a really terrible idea. Minecraft story mode. Steve is let loose into the world of Minecraft once again, on condition that he's gotta find the glowy cube, aka the Orb of Dominance, which gives magic powers and shit. Dennis is kind of being held hostage, or at least that's what Steve thinks. Malgosia simply has Dennis's collar, and he's kind of followed our main cast of characters back into the world of Minecraft, but Jack Black doesn't know any of this. Suddenly, something is wrong in our world of Minecraft as the first night sets in, and oh no! There's monsters! If you're not familiar with Minecraft, it is weirdly brutal that about every 20 minutes monsters just roam the earth, and they're quite horrifying. It can be scary when you actually play Minecraft for the first time in survival mode, because it effectively is a survival horror game come night. And I think the movie does an okay job of capturing the actual horror of this situation, especially with the zombies. There's something just really violent about them. Garrett screams like a baby again and kind of abandons the group to die despite being so macho. And we have a somewhat generic chase sequence. It's just Minecraft antics. Garrett digs a bit. Henry learns that if you headbutt a tree and crack your skull open, you can get blocks in this world. And he starts to build, but there's something really funny about the way he builds. It's like he doesn't care, is the best way to describe it. The way he just like chucks a block. Yeah, I'm building. There's something about his motion in comparison to Jack Black, where he was really going for it and he was dancing and everything. It's kind of laughably bad how Henry builds, and the movie spends a weird amount of time on this realization that, wait a minute, this is Minecraft. When we've already had that realization much better at the start of the movie and we spent no time on it. Here we take quite a bit before Henry realizes that he can build in this fashion, and it's just kind of stupid looking. But again, this is a moment where you can almost laugh at the movie because, yeah, this is kind of bad. This is actually pretty bad. The sequence with this first night is all kinda generic. Garrett meets up with the gang. We have a, oh man, he's right behind me moment with a creeper. It is kind of funny because we get to hear Jason Momoa scream again. It's nice to hear Jason Momoa scream. Apparently I hate this man. There's also a really unsettling bit where this sheep is just getting eaten alive. The gang holds it up in the tower. Garrett almost meets his demise at the base of the tower, where he's ripped apart by zombies, and it's actually looking really bad for him. He's genuinely terrified. But Henry saves him. They climb up the tower. It looks like everything is about to end for our unlikely heroes as the zombies have them cornered on the rooftop, when suddenly our man is here.
Steve.
This man doesn't know how to fight. He's just wildly improvising. He literally leaves himself vulnerable because he knows the time of day is coming in a moment. It's just Jack Black being Jack Black. And then, of course, we have one of the film's most iconic scenes.
I am Steve.
This is the Minecraft Steve I know. And this is Jack Black in a blue shirt. I'm not convinced that he's actually Steve. It's just Jack Black. It's just him. He's not that different. Like, the stage direction for all the scenes is, hey, how would Jack Black say this line? And the truth is that the director here, Jared Hess, has actually worked with Jack Black before on Nacho Libre and is familiar with how Jack Black acts. And there's nothing really wrong with that, honestly, because Jack Black is quite entertaining, even if he plays the same character a lot these days. His most iconic performance is probably School of Rock. I feel like that was a lot of our introductions to Jack Black. Maybe Nacho Libre. Maybe Kung Fu Panda, honestly. That is a pretty iconic Jack Black movie, and he does remarkably well in animation for that one too. He does show up in a couple of other things as well. Tropic Thunder, he is in there. King Kong, of all things, he's got a more serious role. But I don't think we really associate Jack Black with serious like that. He is more of a goofball with a lot of energy. It's weird because he's a kind of actor that I was almost associate with someone like Nicolas Cage, where if you see Nicolas Cage in a movie, you kind of have a good idea of what type of performance you're gonna get. Jack Black is quite similar and quite consistent in his roles. So I think there is something particularly funny for an actor that we are so used to basically depicting himself and having such a presence in his roles when he has the audacity to claim so boldly that he's Steve. No, you're not. You're Jack Black. What are you talking about? I'm not gonna believe that for a moment. And it's particularly damning when his costume for this movie is literally just a blue shirt. Like, it's not much. There are some other roles where, yeah, you can get away with it a bit. He's got a bit more dressing, but no, this is just Jack Black in a blue shirt. And there is something absurdly and stupidly funny about this bold claim in this film in particular. Immediately after this scene, it's like the writing just immediately nosedives. It is so ham-fisted, and you can tell that they just need to establish the premise of the movie once again, that, hey, the orb had its vessel broken in the chaos of the fight when they were all running for their lives, so now we gotta go get another earthen vessel. The only way to get that's at the Woodland Mansion. And this all just feels kind of forced and generic, and it's kind of uninteresting. It's just the plot being like, hey, we gotta set all this up real quick before we get back to the cool stuff. And it's just kind of bad. Poor Natalie as well comes off as very whiny in this scene, and I hate saying this. I feel like her character is not done that well across this movie. She is the concerned parental figure who is looking out for Henry, and that is very much her motivation, and she just wants to get Henry home. But in a lot of her scenes, she's kind of just complaining about the world. She doesn't want to be here. She's like, oh my god, this is dangerous, and she's kind of a buzzkill. And it's just a shame. I feel like the writing should have let Natalie flourish a bit more. It's no fault of the actress because this is the direction she was simply given for this role, but she does come off as quite whiny and kind of killing the fun that is the world of Minecraft, and she's not having a good time in this place. Thankfully, we get back to a good time very quick when our poor testificate that has escaped into the real world is suddenly hit by a car.
Oh no, not again.
What do you mean, not again? How often have you hit someone with your Grand Jeep Cherokee, Jennifer Coolidge? How often an occurrence is this for you? What's going on? They've got so many questions from this one little line, and it's genuinely really funny. And we sort of have this forced coming together of these characters where she's like, God, please don't sue me. I'll buy you dinner. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. But I'm all for it. Why not? The movie understands how stupid and absurd this is, which is why these little scenes work, and it just breaks up the movie in a nice way. From this, we arrive at the village, and this is probably as Minecraft as the Minecraft movie gets. There is nothing more iconic, I think, than just a simple testificate village in Minecraft. Because you're familiar with the buildings, like the different roles, the villagers just kind of going about their day. Sorry, testificates, sorry. Even the iron golem is here, and it just looks really lovely. This movie is so colorful. It's so bright. One of my favorite moments in the entire movie is actually in the village where we have this pig with a crown come on to the scene. And this is just a really heartfelt reference to, if you're not familiar, there's a YouTuber by the name of Technoblade, a legendary YouTuber who sadly passed away a couple of years back. This is really heartfelt moment that the movie actually includes, is just a little nod to this actual person who passed away and someone who was quite prolific in the Minecraft community. I knew Techno personally. We actually played games together many years ago. We did like Minecraft championships and we played some, oh god, what was it? It was like Killing Floor or something like that together in our off time. Long while ago now. But it's so sweet to see the Minecraft movie just have this little homage to such a prolific figure in the community. And this moment in particular, I think, reminds us that as stupid as this movie gets, and even if you think, God, this is awful in parts, a lot of heart has absolutely gone into this movie, and I don't think any scene depicts it better than having Techno actually appear in the movie as a little cameo. The gems on his crown pretty closely line up with his actual avatar. So Technoblade never dies. He lives on in the movie, and I just think that's really sweet to see, honestly. Unfortunately, a fair bit of this scene is also just Nat complaining about the world of Minecraft. She's not having a good time. Nothing makes sense. She wants to go home. Henry's in danger. I feel really bad because she's such a buzzkill, and she almost makes the movie worse. We have the first of what I like to call the let's let Jack Black be Jack Black scenes. This is Lava Chicken.
Lava chicken. Steve's lava chicken, yeah, it's tasty as hell. Ooh, mama, see tonight you're ringing the bell. Crispy and juicy, now you're having a stack. Ooh, super spicy, it's a lava attack.
This has become a weird cult classic from this movie, and I'm not convinced whatsoever that this was planned in the script at all. I think they had a Lava Chicken Shack, and Jack Black on set, impromptu in the moment, was like, hang on a minute, I can sing a song about that. And it's so bad that it's good. That's the thing. It's so bad. He's just saying lava and chicken over and over again. He's not even acting that much. There's not even that much movement. The scene is quite awkward as he just sings at the other characters. It's so awkward, so absurd, so stupid, so bad that it's really funny. And it is a more entertaining moment of the movie, weirdly, and it's fucking Lava Chicken. Are we all just brain rotted that we enjoy this kind of comedy? Like, is culture just dead? I don't actually believe it is. But we just kind of revel in this new absurdist humor. We love ironic humor these days. Material that is objectively awful, but trying to be funny. And we know it's trying to be funny, and it's kind of forced that it wraps around again to being funny. I think Lava Chicken is weirdly a good example of that, because it's just kind of awkward. But it works. It works because it also knows it's awkward, and the characters kind of looking at it, and their reaction kind of tells you, Jesus, this is just weirdly out of place. What's Jack Black doing? Jack Black's just having a good time. He's just enjoying himself. We have a bit of a showdown between him and Garrett after this to see who's more macho. Once again, it's nice seeing Garrett just in pain. I'm sorry, Jason Momoa. I really fucking hate you, apparently. And then we cut back to the armies of hell, and fucking General Chungus is being unleashed on the world. And then this movie does something that just is so annoying and cringe. So all my praise that I just gave to Lava Chicken being this so bad it's kind of funny moment, this scene just kind of works to ruin that, because General Chungus is now also citing the Lava Chicken song, and because he thinks it's hot stuff, and this is just embarrassing. It's weird, because the first time Jack Black does it, it's so bad it kind of works, and it's funny and absurd. But here, it's as if the movie thinks it's hot stuff, so it's referencing itself already, and not even 2 minutes have passed. Why are you referencing yourself like this? It's kind of weird. This is another moment in the film where I, of course, wanted to gouge out my own eyes and set myself on fire. But I'm in deep, and I've seen this movie about 12 times now. It's scenes like this where you might laugh at the movie, but it's very much laughing at the movie. The movie wants you to laugh here because it thinks, oh, we're going to reference Lava Chicken. That was such a funny moment. But no, it wasn't a funny moment. That's why it was funny. And I understand how paradoxical that sounds, but that's how a lot of meme culture works these days. We have these gifs of horizontal rotating cats, and it's in German, and you gotta plug a USB into them. And none of this makes sense. It's all stupid, yet it's kind of funny because we can recognize that it's so stupid and absurd. And it's not touting its own horn and saying, yeah, we're hot stuff, like this awkward General Chungus Lava Chicken scene is. That's a sentence I never thought I'd have to say. We have a heart-to-heart between Jack Black and Natalie that can be summarized plainly as, Jesus Christ, Natalie. I like the way Jack Black says big old red ones.
Big old red ones.
There's also something when Garrett and Henry leave to go to Steve's secret stash. The way Garrett kicks this door, it's just so awkward. Why is this scene here? Well, I'm gonna tell you why this scene is here. It's because the movie knows that it's really awkward when it includes these scenes, and it's so bad that it's kind of good. Moments like this are building up over the course of the movie. We're about halfway through the film at this point, I might add as well. And I hope you've been able to see some of these through my arguments here. It's starting to add up. There's a lot of these scenes that are quite awkward, quite ham-fisted, are just objectively quite bad, but they're still somewhat entertaining and funny, and the movie seems to recognize that some of them are so stupid it's funny, and then some of them are just kind of stupid. And some of them you're laughing at the movie because it's, oh god, this is just awful and I'm having a rough time in my cinema. It really straddles the line with moments like this, but the spin kick is another good example where this is just awkward, but we're gonna stick it in anyway because it's funny to have that there, and it's just is quite awkward, and that gets a bit of a laugh. It also complements Jason Momoa's character quite well, where he's so full of himself but puny and incapable. We're having a very lovely depiction of a world of Minecraft with the village, but I think the scene that showcases this best is actually Steve's stash, because oh my god, if you've actually played Minecraft, this is every player's fantasy. Just to have a neatly organized base with everything lined up, everything in its place. It's so tidy, it's clean. It's like looking at the fridge when it's full. And Minecraft, in a way, is a game about asset management. And basically, over time, you're trying to survive in this world by acquiring more blocks, acquiring more tools that enable you to survive. That feeling when you just get to glance back at it all is just so satisfying, because it's a reminder to you as the player. It's like, God, I've made it. I have survived in this world. I'm not just in a dirt shack anymore. I got good shit here. And it's great. I think this scene is actually a love letter to fans of the game in particular, because it looks so nice. There's a tree being cut down. This entire sequence is also what I like to call peak Jack Black saying the name of things in Minecraft. We get spoiled in this scene.
TNT, firework rockets, boots of swiftness, diamond armor, full set, and blades for days. Those are some of my favorite treasures. That is an ender pearl. This is a crafting table.
It's just really funny because you can't possibly know what was given direction to Jack Black and what was just him being Jack Black that encouraged him to say the name of things like this.
Skadoosh. Anaconda squeeze. Gibson SG, mint condish. Little nepetiz. Cello, you've got a bass. Sicily. Enough of the party tricks, down to biz. I'm here to offer you a deal.
I want Jack Black to read an audiobook version of the dictionary someday, and it's just him describing stuff, because there's something about the way he talks where he has a delivery similar to someone like Rowan Atkinson, where he can make something funny if he wants it to be funny, or if not strictly funny, he can make it sound quite weird and distinct so that you know at least that it's only coming from him. And it's quite iconic. It's like a part of his acting repertoire at this point for the weird Jack Black delivery. And this is it at its highest moment, I think, in the movie, simply because he's basically reading off an inventory list. Like, Jack Black, if you're there, I want you to read my groceries to me someday. I would love that. Nothing will get me more motivated to go down to the shops and to have Jack Black being like, we need to get the eggs and a milk box. Don't forget the bread. And I really apologize for that impression. Please do not click off the video. We have a comical inventory gathering sequence where Jason Momoa also makes the buck chuckets. And we have a tater tot gun. We're just breaking the rules of Minecraft, but hey, you know, that's okay. The movie's silly and stupid anyway. I think that's been well established at this point. Purists might be quite upset by the movie doing this, but it's already been established that it's so stupid and none of this is to be taken that seriously, so it's fine. If the movie had established itself as a very serious world that has to abide by these rules and was almost rigorous with it, it would be a completely different scenario. I'm of course talking about Minecraft story mode. But we're going to save that one for a different essay, because every time I talk about Minecraft story mode, their subreddit gets really upset, and that brings me so much joy in life. We also have Garrett's subplot established in the scene. He needs diamonds to recover his failing business, and he's a bit antagonistic here, and it's like, Garrett, what are you doing that for, buddy? You're supposed to be stupid on that. You know, you're kind of evil, like Jesus. He's taken the orb of dominance, and he won't give it back to Steve unless Steve shows him where he keeps all his diamonds in the Redstone Mountains. Anyway, the village gets invaded by the evil piglins. They've found a way to escape the Nether, thanks to the protective potion. And this is all just comical action sequence, I guess. General Chungus shows up. He unironically says that he has to unalive you and stuff, which, I mean, I've already gouged out my eyes, so I guess I'll gouge out my ears next. We have a generic kind of fight sequence. It's a little more fun, purely because of Jason Momoa just getting the shit kicked out of him. Again, I'm really sorry. I really hate him, apparently. But I love seeing him get hurt. It's something so entertaining about how much he screams. And you see these expressions on his face where it's like, oh god, like he's seriously injured. It's really entertaining to watch these moments. We have the girls fighting the mob as well. That's a bit more just generic action-y. This bit where Dawn hits the pig and it's in slow motion is just uncomfortable. This is basically a massive green screen montage when you really think about it. All of the piglins here actually are mocap actors from the behind the scenes, which is kind of fascinating. You know, it's an action sequence. There's not too much that's interesting here. The most interesting thing is probably the buck chuckets in action, and again, Jason Momoa screaming like a baby. That's great, but otherwise, it's just a montage. I think what highlights that this sequence is just kind of lame is when they get split up by a fire that spreads across the village. Nat's slow motion Henry scream is just so lame. Like, the movie had to find some way to, I guess, to split up the characters, just so we have different parts of the world being explored, and I guess this was the easy way to do it. But there's something so generic about this scene, and it's supposed to be treated with such serious sincerity that it's kind of lame. And this is another moment where I'm just kind of laughing at the movie for it being quite bad, but I'm still laughing. I am still laughing, albeit for the wrong reasons. Anyway, the gang escapes off a cliff. Jack Black plucks some elytra, except, oh no, he's forgotten one. And so we now have this joyous sequence of, I think this is the happiest I've ever seen Jack Black, where he's riding Jason Momoa through the air. Now, this sequence is so painfully green screened, like, or blue screened, same thing. But it's still really funny. There's something about these two men together, and they have weird sexual tension again.
Just relax, let my hips guide you.
We're gonna have to go nose to toes. Full man sandwich.
What? Tighten up. What?
There's still some negative space back there. We both know it.
I'm trying to close the gap.
I don't know if it's just me. There's something so inappropriate about this sequence. The action stuff, yeah, that's all just happening. It's wonderful, it's colorful, it's all a bit flashy. Henry is just screaming. He's having a rough time of it. But our two main men here, something about their chemistry as they're literally sat on top of each other is quite entertaining to watch again. And there's something just so ridiculous in these scenes because of the green and blue screen that's being used. You could so plainly see just how fake everything is here. And yet it kind of works because you can see that fakeness. It's another moment where the movie knows, yeah, this is so fucking dumb, but it's still entertaining to watch. And it does a good job of just having some physical humor between Jack Black and Jason Momoa. There's one scene where he has to like crawl up Jason Momoa's ass as if it was Everest. And it's just really funny and really inappropriate. We also have, even when Jack Black was diving down into this sequence,
Coming in hot.
I don't know why, all I can picture is Jack Black in Fortnite and he's just dropped off the battle bus and is about to fight, like on the map. There's something so just stupid and ridiculous about this sequence. Even the payoff for this scene where we have the gang coming together and oh no, they're gonna crash into the peaceful panda sanctuary. What are we gonna do? But don't worry, it's fucking Minecraft. Jack Black has a bucket of water that he's just gonna pop on the ground. And it's so stupid. It is so stupid. But Jack Black's delivery just makes this work, and the intensity of the shot by which they crash to the ground, and the stupid absurdity of having the bucket of water and how it's even placed, and they just splash everywhere and the pandas are okay. Everything about this scene is complete, utter nonsense. It is so stupid. But you laugh because it's so stupid. It is so absurd, it is so nonsensical, and the movie knows this, and you know this while you're laughing. The movie doesn't expect you to treat this as like, oh god, I hope Jack Black and Jason Momoa and the little kid are gonna be okay. How are they gonna get out of this precarious situation? No, you sat back in your seat going, oh my god, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. The movie is getting quite a reaction out of you with its absurd stupidity, because not for a moment does it let the mask slip. It is fully committed to stupid in this sequence. And this is actually one of my favorite scenes of the entire movie. There's no real sincerity or seriousness to be found. It's just a stupid montage with some stupid jokes of these two actors climbing over each other and a stupid save to save them from disaster. It's all just complete nonsense. but it knows it's nonsense and commits to the nonsense and tries to exaggerate and heighten said nonsense. And it works really well because of that. It's actually quite funny. I like in particular when Jack Black says, "Let my hips guide you," to Jason Momoa. Listen, I've been talking about the sexual undertones, but there's no escaping it for this scene, right? Also, Natalie and Don leave the village. That's it. Yeah, definitely a weak scene. Like, they just have to establish that these characters are also on their way to the Woodland Mansion. But compared to everything we just witnessed with the other group, this is such a nothing burger scene. Thankfully, we don't dwell too long here, though. We go straight back to the villager subplot, and oh my god, they're having the most romantic dinner. We also have Minecraft's lead dev making a cheeky cameo as the waiter here. There are all of the tropes of falling in love, but it feels so much more forced. And it's obviously with this testificate who has a massive head and a massive unibrow and is obviously not a real human being. Jennifer Coolidge just straight up wants to take him home. It's just so funny and inappropriate, and stuff is moving so fast. Yeah, it's just stupid and absurd, and the movie knows it again by including these scenes. It's great. We have some very cringy exposition here when we go to the Nether's Got Talent finals, and we get the terrible backstory for Malgosia being evil, and it's that she didn't dance well in the X Factor. It's really awkward. Like, again, scenes like this remind me of Facebook Minion memes. I am having the most miserable time during scenes like this. I cannot possibly recommend the movie. The only joy I can find in laughing at how absurdly crap this entire sequence is. Just from a story standpoint, mind you, in terms of CG and animation, yeah, there's actually a lot going on in this sequence. You know, and I do have mad respect for all the CG work and just the animation in general that went into this movie. You can tell that a lot of people worked very hard on it. But this scene is just so awkward, and it's full of, again, Facebook Minions memes, humor, that I just hate. Also, a deadly beast is released onto the world. It's the next big bad boss our heroes must encounter. Sure, boys set off for the Redstone Mountains. It's the next place they gotta pass through to get to the Woodland Mansion, / make a cheeky pit stop because Garrett really wants diamonds and Garrett likes money. The women are going through the woods, and suddenly, what is this that has re-entered the plot? It's Dennis! He barks. I got fucking hair all over me. Yeah, Dennis has just been out and about in the world, I guess, this entire time. And Dawn, having her animal handling experience as established earlier in the movie, she knows that, hey, just give the dog a bone. And suddenly, Dennis has been retamed. Dennis also knows his way to find Jack Black, so everything's just working out. It's Dennis. And then we're just immediately back to the boys. Something I have to say, though, is I feel like they should have done more with Nat and Dawn and their own journey in these sequences. As much as I love Jack Black and Jason Momoa, and I've quite openly called them the stars of the movie, I really wish that they gave the women more screen time. Just not a lot of interesting stuff happens to them on their own journey. There wasn't much plot. They kind of just have little filler scenes. And we have like 2-minute little interval scenes with them, and then we get back to the boys for the next 15 minutes for big beefy sequences. And it just feels kind of weirdly weighted, because the movie is supposed to consider these characters all kind of evenly, but really, Jack Black is the star of the show. Henry and Garrett get the most screen time next to them. And then it's Dawn and Nat who are kind of just there in the background for a lot of this middle of the movie time. And we've only really got half an hour of the movie left as well. I know it doesn't feel it, like it's moving quick. But I wish they just did more with their characters, because they kind of are just here. Basically, they leave and they find Dennis. And that's it for now. Anyway, we're back to the boys, and we're set for some hilarious redstone shenanigans when Garrett activates a trap. This sequence is just a bit funny again because it's just Jason Momoa screaming. I think comedy gold for me apparently is just Jason Momoa on a stage, you give him a mic, and someone just pokes him with a pointy stick and he screams. I think that's the experience I'm looking for. They find Jack Black's
diamonds.
and Garrett gets his diamonds. They have to quite painfully reveal to Henry as well that Garrett has been serving his own selfish self-interest. But before they can dwell on that, suddenly the massive pig monster has shown up. It is there, I promise. They don't really show it in this shot. And they gotta escape from the mines. And I mean, the film is called Minecraft. We gotta spend some time in the mines. Gotta have the mine and we gotta have the craft to have the Minecraft. Suddenly, as everything looks like it's about to go well and they're about to escape in the minecarts, they take a wrong turn. What the fuck is that? Disaster has struck. We're in a creeper farm. It's notably a creeper farm. The film actually doesn't touch much on this, but this is another moment where it's kind of a love letter to the fans of Minecraft. A creeper farm, for those who don't know, is basically a mob farm where you try and spawn as many creepers as possible so you can harvest and kill them to get an easy source of gunpowder. It's something you only do at a more technical end of Minecraft if you're looking for a very specific resource that only drops from a mob. The fact that this is included in the movie shows that, hey, the writers really understood the source material. We have some terrible screaming with our lads as they try to escape. Jason Momoa has to get out and push. We have some lovely screaming between our men and a quite intimate cuddle between Jack Black and Jason Momoa. Again, just the sexual tension between these men is off the charts. Like, I'm just saying, these two men take any excuse they possibly can to be in physical contact with each other. They love their man sandwich. We have a daring escape as the redstone rail activates and propels them out of the mine. And it's all just spectacle. It's a massive explosion. Sure, why not? Then we don't cut back to the women. We just keep going with the boys. It's weird because it's normally like sequence and little break and sequence and little break. Instead, we actually just cut back to the date with Jennifer Coolidge, and it's going really well. Jennifer Coolidge wants to fuck this testificate. What is happening in this movie? Also, I love this joke.
Are you finished?
No, I think he's Swedish.
And we're on to the
Woodland Mansion.
We have a little scene here where Jason Momoa breaks down as a character and just acknowledges that he's a stupid loser, which is just kind of hard to watch. He's still a little full of himself, even in this breakdown, expressing how bilingual he is. Fun fact, all of the Spanish he says has just been incorrect through the entire movie. It's just very funny and you can just translate it yourself at home. He's never saying what he means, like Buenos Dias does not mean what he says it does. Henry is devastated because he looks up to him. And we have this wonderful scene where Jack Black, with all sincerity, says,
"Sorry about your finances."
Shut up, Steve.
and I don't know why, but there's something so stupid about this bit in particular that it really made me laugh when I first saw it. We're supposed to treat this line delivery from Jack Black, a man who's been yelling flint and steel and diamonds, with utmost seriousness. I am sorry to hear about your finances. I feel like this makes a good meme template, and you could just caption Jack Black's face with this.
Sorry about your finances.
Shut up, Steve.
It's so hard to take Jack Black seriously, yet this little moment wants you to so hard that you cannot help but laugh at the absurdity of the moment. And this may be an important point we're going to touch on quite a bit coming up. The team has a plan for breaking into the Minecraft mansion. It's all a bit gamey. Garrett just kind of complains about the model being incorrect. Sure. But we also have a very weird sequence that I don't see people talking about as much as other scenes in this movie, where Jack Black and Jason Momoa start to sing like a happy birthday song to the Vindicators in the Woodland Mansion.
Friendship is the wish you make when you're blowing out the candles on your birthday cake. Don't be a bully and don't be a boot. Time to put on your birthday suit.
I don't know why, but something about this scene gives me Germa's Birthday Rats song energy.
Rats, we are the rats, celebrating another birthday bash. Michael, it's your birthday today.
I don't know what it is, but you can feel it, right? Henry makes it to the storeroom in the mansion, and he's just having a good old search around. Another little love letter to Minecraft here is in the storeroom. There's just a lot of different objects that you find in the boxes. There's actually an end chest in the corner of one of the shots as well, which is particularly nice. It's not really involved in the plot, but it's still there. Someone took the time to put that in because, hey, players know what an end chest is, and it's breaks up the monotony of all the chests in the storehouse. It's kind of nice to have.
You got this, doggone! Reach down deep! You're that shirtless kitten, I love you!
Jack Black and Jason Momoa have been captured, and we are treated to a very serious scene where they have been launched into the demented Vindicators Fight Club arena. And it is now time.
They want me to fight the chicken?
It's a fight to the death, kid! Chicken jockey!
We're in the middle of Minecraft movie madness.
The Minecraft movie.
A Minecraft movie.
The Minecraft movie.
When the chicken jockey scene came on, that's when everything just broke loose.
Chicken jockey! Oh my God.
In at least one case, the police have gotten involved, escorting some of the offenders out of theaters.
Chicken jockey!
If anyone throws anything during this next scene, you will be escorted out and not get to finish the movie.
The new Minister of Finance's chicken jockey? No, this is not true! No!
Chicken jockey!
Chicken jockey!
I unironically believe that the chicken jockey scene is one of the most defining moments of cinema for a new generation. And I'm not even joking. I cannot think of many movies in my lifetime that had such a visceral audience reaction as Chicken Jockey did, that the broadcast of the movie had to be completely stopped and interrupted. That cinema theaters were completely destroyed. That it made international news for the amount of disruption the scene caused. You know, I went to see Avengers Endgame, which is the culmination of 15 years of Marvel movies all building up in this final big bad moment. And even in some of the most heightened scenes of that movie, you know, we weren't chucked out of the cinema. Chicken Jockey, for me, is the epitome of ironic meme humor. And I really think this defines a generation, and I've never seen it represented better than between the scene and the audience reaction. It is a moment that by itself shouldn't really signify anything, yet it's treated with such a seriousness and gravitas that it almost wants you to have this violent, dramatic reaction. But the audience watching this movie knows that it's stupid and absurd, and that the movie hasn't really been going for this violent, this serious, dramatic reaction at all. So what does the audience do? They give it the ironic reaction. The audience treats this absurd moment with absurdity. Everyone loses their minds as the emotional impact of Chicken Jockey hits. Popcorn is flung up. People release live chickens into the audience. Someone sets off fire extinguishers in the cinema theater. And I just want to stress, absolutely none of this is okay. Like, remove from Chicken Jockey, Jesus Christ, I feel really bad for the cinema staff to have to clean up all this shit, right? It's a pretty terrible thing to do, and you really shouldn't. But this actually happened still. And it happened on this particular scene. And I think it's because it's the height of the movie. The stupid absurdity has culminated to such a stupid degree that the audience reaction is to respond with equal stupid and equal absurdity in kind. Nothing displays it better than Chicken Jockey. Like, we're talking about a moment that is trash in cinemas. The only time I can think of where moviegoers would have ran out of the cinema or had this kind of reaction would have been like the dawn of cinema when the train ran at the screen. Another example I can think of is just Panto Theater or the Rocky Horror Picture Show. But those are experiences where that's kind of in mind from the moment of production. This is just Jack Black saying Chicken Jockey. This was not anticipated whatsoever by the movie directors or the producers. And yet we have such a visceral response to this moment in particular. It is one of the most dramatic moments from an audience of cinema in decades. Nothing compares to it. How many other movies do you know where a scene so dramatic, so engaging, enthralls its audience so much to the degree that they literally trash the cinema? I can't think of anything in modern history that does that. Literally nothing. So the fact that a Minecraft movie has somehow accomplished this, even if it is a meme, is actually something worth studying. I genuinely believe that academics will talk about the response to Chicken Jockey in future. I believe it is that engaging of a moment of the history of cinema. Once again, this is my actual college degree. I'm trying to do my part right now and engage with this moment. Something quite weird and cyclical happened following Chicken Jockey, where the producers basically picked up on the audience reaction to this moment, and a sing-along version, or a meme version, if you will, of the Minecraft movie show and started to crop up, where in some of these cinema staff actually got in on the joke. You would have staff just spray popcorn into the audience of Chicken Jockey, which is kind of fun if the staff is anticipating, you know, the cleanup that's involved in this. It's a showing of the movie that was designed to basically trash the cinema in this moment. Like, oh Jesus, I'm in the cinema. I have my 2D option for the movie. I have my 3D option. I'm gonna pick the violent outburst option. Yeah, I love the violent outburst option. I think it really represents an audience's desire to engage with a movie to this degree, even if it's to revel in stupid absurdity. We want just a bit of fun ourselves, and this is a movie that clearly knows how to have fun, how to poke fun at itself, and when we celebrate Chicken Jockey, we kind of poke fun at ourselves now as well. Whenever I say Chicken Jockey with my friends who have seen the Minecraft movie, they can't help but say it back. And we all just kind of have a little laugh. It's like, haha, Chicken Jockey. It is stupid, it is absurd, it is objectively not funny, yet it is treated with such a weird sincerity in the movie, combined with its own absurdity, that it provokes such a visceral reaction from anyone who engages with the meme. That's incredible! And I can't think of many moments in modern cinema that do that. A lot of the crux of my argument about the Minecraft movie celebrating its own stupidity hinges on Chicken Jockey in particular. It is a central pillar to the argument I've been presenting across this video, which is really fucking funny. But I hope you can see it. Films could only dream of having a reaction like Chicken Jockey did. The reaction to Chicken Jockey in particular kind of just marketed the movie and made it one of the most profitable movies ever made. This made a shitload of money, and it was in part because the absurd situation around Chicken Jockey was effectively marketing for the movie. People had to go and see it because, like, Jesus Christ, this movie made people trash the cinema. What is going on with that? I gotta check that out for myself. And it wasn't really forced by studio execs as far as I can see. It just kind of trended on TikTok and people made a big deal about Chicken Jockey. people just suggesting that, hey, like, you know, this is just stupid and funny. We got to make a big deal about it for this quite stupid a movie. But it's great. It's great. And something I really hope for the sequel is that they learn the right lesson from this, because I'm so worried that come the Minecraft movie 2, they're going to try and artificially recreate what Chicken Jockey was in this movie. And I think it'll be a colossal flop. I think it'll be really awkward if they do that. They've got to treat it with an absurd sense of humor and try not to force the moment, because that's when this movie is at its best already. And if they do this for the sequel and they try and force it, they want their new Chicken Jockey, we're all gonna say End Dragon, guys. It's the new big thing. End Dragon. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's gonna fall flat in its face. I unironically believe that Chicken Jockey is one of the greatest moments of modern cinema. Also, Henry's on a little side adventure here. He's getting some induced psychosis from this Enderman. Don't look into his eyes, Henry. Oopsie daisy, did it anyway. Nice little attention to detail here, but Steve, or Jack Black's eyes, are white. I think this is a cheeky little nod to Herobrine, whose eyes are also white. If you look at all the other characters, their eyes are kind of more purple, akin to the Enderman, but Steve's are distinct in this scene, so just a little cheeky nod to the community again there. If you know, you know. It doesn't make too big a deal out of it, but I thought that was really cute. Something funny I find in this nightmare sequence is that Nat doesn't actually seem that different. She's just Nat. Like, her eyes don't really need to be possessed to say what she was saying anyway. Her character hasn't changed really in this moment, despite it being a nightmare dream sequence. I feel really bad talking about Nat in this movie. We have a wonderful Chicken Jockey fight sequence that culminates in height stupidity as Jack Black says sneak attack, does a ridiculous charge and just headbutts the zombie, to which it cries like a baby. It's all just stupid nonsense. Nothing makes sense, but we've just accepted that at this point. We're in a post-Chicken Jockey world now. It's too late to go back. Also in this sequence, Henry catches up to the boys. He digs through the floor. They have another man-to-man moment. And I love this just comical smash into the ground by poor Henry here. It's just a moment where the movie kind of knows it's stupid. He screams and just plummets. Then he gets up. He's perfectly okay. You know, he hasn't cracked like 3 ribs or anything. The gang runs for their lives from the woodland mansion onto the big bridge that leads into it when suddenly, oh no, it's Malgosha, she's back, oh shit. And as a cheeky reference, just biomes in the game, because just, why not, you know? You probably like Minecraft if you see in this movie. I love that it's just in like throwaway little lines that they're like, hey, we know it's all a game, so don't worry about it. You know, Malgosha just opened F3, got the coordinates of the woodland mansion. That's how she pretty much hopped over there. This is where Garrett has his redemption arc. He throws Henry to safety on like the gassed flying platform thingy. And Jack Black slime cube way over there. He's quite happy. And then poor Garrett's left on the bridge. And he sacrifices himself. Garrett stays behind. And a horrific explosion engulfs him. To which Jack Black and Henry are catapulted out of the scene. And they're knocked unconscious and crash on impact. Like, oh, holy shit, we've got some dramatic stakes here. Garrett is gone. Garrett is actually dead. We thought plot armor would carry our characters through the movie at this point, but no, he's gone. There's a fiery explosion that engulfed them. Jack Black is woken lovingly by Dennis then, and wow, it's a mushroom house.
I wish Garbage Man was here to see this. He would have loved your mushroom hut.
Garrett has been dead for less than a minute by the time this scene plays. And everything just seems fine again, I guess. Like, fucking hell, no one gave a shit about Garrett. Everything's just okay. This scene made me laugh so hard for just how stupid it is. And I don't think the movie intended this at all. They just move on so fucking quick from Garrett's death. 2 characters acknowledge it in this moment. Jack Black says it, and Nat says it.
And I'm really sorry about Garrett.
Henry doesn't even seem that fussed that his model, like, fake uncle has just passed away in a deadly explosion on the bridge. Like, Jesus, no one actually gives a shit about this man. It's so upsetting and so weirdly terrible in this movie that I just can't help but laugh because it's so fucking funny. You would think they would treat Garrett's death with a little more respect, but instead, he's just fucking dead and no one gives a shit! Anyway, Garrett is dead, everyone's reunited, Jack Black encounters Dennis again. He's alright. But disaster, because Malgosha has acquired the Orb of Dominance since their bridge encounter, and now the fate of the world of Minecraft is at stake. How will our intrepid heroes get out of this situation?
First we mine, then we craft. Let's Minecraft!
Do I have any senses left to gouge out? My sense of smell? No, my favorite part of watching the Shawshank Redemption is when John Shawshank goes, wow, I sure feel redemption. We have our crafting montage. Don goes off and gets a bit of wolves. Jack Black goes into the mines. Redstone mine's a bit too far away. And also, how much time do they have to do all this? Because the end of the world seems pretty imminent, but they take a lot of time. They seem to do a lot of stuff just gathering resources. Nat actually gets a bit of character development here, and it's showing that, Jesus, she's quite prolific for fighting and has a bit of a keen interest in that, which is kind of cool. Henry gets to show off his Minecraft notebook. He worked out how to make a sword. Cool. It feels bad saying this, but one of the weakest parts of the entire movie is literally all of this final climax that's coming up. And this is the end of the movie. And that makes me really sad to say, because this bit is all just kind of generic. It's so cheesy. You can see each character kind of just working to their strengths and gathering resources, and they're working as a team. They want a creative plan to encounter with Malgosha. The action ensues. They have an Iron Golem army led by Captain Iron Golem America, and they all just kind of fight. And it's all kind of how you would expect it to be. Jack Black looks really silly with his diamond armor, so that's kind of nice. But the kids just kind of run across the battlefield. All hope seems lost. Wolves show up. There's a real weird continuity error as well in all this chaos. So there's a bit where the kids have clearly made their way to the portal, the hell that's everything bad is coming out of. But later in the movie, you see that they still have quite a way to go. It's been stitched together wrong. And it feels weird to call out a movie like this where it's also stupid and also absurd, but this is just noticeably incorrect when you watch it. I feel like I'm like at Comic-Con and I'm the one guy in the audience like, well, actually I have an issue with that specific episode of the show. But it's kind of hard to ignore once you spot it. I'm sorry if I ruined the Minecraft movie for all of you. I really might have done it now. It's all just a bit lame and predictable. Henry gets to use an ender pearl that he got at the Woodland Mansion, but he falls off the portal because it gets blown up, to which Garrett is alive and well and rescues him. He used Steve's water bucket trick, and if it sounds like I'm just reciting the movie here, it's because I am. It's all kind of generic. It's kind of everything I expected this final sequence to be. There's not much interesting stuff happening in the battle, unfortunately, which is such a shame. At least it's a nice bit of spectacle. That's the most praise I think I can give it. But other than that, it kind of plays out how you'd expect. And they destroy the portal. Malgosha is defeated. There is a nice little comedy routine with Malgosha and Jack Black here, where she keeps trying to kill him. And it's so predictable what she's trying to do. But Jack Black picks up on it, and they do the joke like 3 times. But it actually works because, again, the film is acknowledging just how stupid it is itself and leaning into that absurdity. So I actually really like this scene. It's at least a bit of relief from what was supposed to be the climax of the movie that kind of came and went. There's also a cute little Easter egg with the way that the piglins are petrified. They kind of resemble the earlier model of like zombie pillagers or whatever you called them in the Nether. Earlier form of them had that kind of moss leaning into their eyes and more skeletal features. They actually look a bit like that. So it's just cool, again, that the producers and those involved in the movie, they did their homework. We also have a very ham-fisted moral on, hey, maybe you should be creative. Wow. I didn't expect the Minecraft movie to come out with such an avant-garde statement as that. Anyway, the day is saved, the gang meets back at the portal to the real world, and we just have another Jack Black song moment where he felt like singing about his dog Dennis, so Jack Black is gonna sing about Dennis, I guess. Like, why not?
Go now, Dennis.
The film acknowledges how stupid this is by having a testificate cry at just how beautiful this rather silly song is. And then we have an actual surprise moral for the movie, which is a bit more worth considering.
Are you sure you don't want to come back?
Yeah, I'm staying here. I got a bunch more stuff I want to build.
Why don't you bring some of that magic to the real world?
There's an actual moral about escapism here and losing yourself in a different world, even if you feel more at home. The suggestion for Jack Black to bring his creativity to the real world, although cliche, is actually quite sweet. And it's also quite interesting when you really start to think about it, because the moral of a Minecraft movie is stop playing Minecraft, which is wild when you actually think about it. And I think that's a really telling metaphor for how Minecraft can actually be seen. It is such a wonderful game and a wonderful resource that encourages creativity, both in kids and adults, and also in walks of life between like architecture, education, libraries that are archived on Minecraft. Bringing some of that talent to our real quote-unquote world is kind of beneficial. It's like we want more people like that that can devise these wonderful scenarios, devise in our actual world, because the actual world is a bit shit and scary when we start to think about it too much. So it's a bit of an interesting moral that the film has, because on one hand, yes, it is cliche, but the way they present it, it makes it a bit more interesting, and I actually have something I could even say about that, which is sweet. You know, it's much better than the other moral that's just be creative, bro. Because, wow, no shit. There's an essence of confronting reality and trying to get out of the escapist fantasy with this moral, to which Jack Black does, and hey, the real world is all fun and games now. Garrett gets his shop together, Henry makes his jetpack, he's no longer being bullied, Nat teaches a self-defense class, okay, and Dawn has a big animal get-together, basically, and a new career. She doesn't need to be in real estate anymore, and Dennis loves her. And Jack Black and Jason Momoa get to live their bromance out until the end of time. Jack Black gets a nice song in, because, reminder, the man can sing. The end. And wow, we end on some nice, upbeat energy. But wait.
You gotta be kidding me, Marlene. This is the guy?
Too late, Clemente. You had your chance.
She's right, Clemente. You totally blew it. And now I reap the rewards of your mistake. You see, when Marlene's Jeep Grand Cherokee ran me over, I was struck by a love so powerful, it transcended the barriers of conventional speech. Now I speak human, and she speaks villager. Would you marry me?
Yes!
This post-credit scene is probably the best joke of the entire movie. It is so stupid to have Matt Berry, of all people, voice the testificate after all this time. We've not heard a word from him. It's so just out of nowhere, and it's such a wonderful payoff to the whole villager subplot. Matt Berry has such an iconic voice. It is so wildly inappropriate for the testificate to have this voice. And then also Jennifer Coolidge just kind of mumbling and speaking in villager, and then they get fucking married despite only knowing each other a day, and the film openly acknowledges that. It's just so stupid and silly and fun and absurd, and the movie knows that this is fun and stupid and silly and absurd. And I think it's just a great little ending for the movie. It kind of represents what the movie has been about this entire time. It just wants to give us some of these fun situations, some of this silliness and this absurd sense of humor throughout. All of the weakest points of the movie have been when it tried to deal with subject matters that were well beyond its scope. Serious subjects like a dead parent and trying to become a new parental figure for your younger sibling. Things like a struggling business. Things like Malgosha just destroying the world and a weird tragic backstory with Nether's Got Talent. It's all just kind of lame. That one's not so sincere, but it's just kind of cringe Facebook Minions meme humor. The best moments of the movie have been when it knows that it's stupid, when it knows it's absurd, and it's been able to capitalize that on a way that shows that it knows its own stupidity. Jason Momoa and Jack Black do an excellent job of playing that up throughout the movie. Henry as well, the small child, does a really good job of doing it too. He's the straight man to their funny men, which you need for classic comedy routines. And it's good that he spends a lot of time with the two men in particular because he can play off them quite well, I feel. You have Don and Nat in this movie, which I wish were given more screen time and just more of a sense of role. Like, one of Don's biggest jokes of the entire movie is simply saying, "Oh my butt." And that is not comedy gold, that's really cringy. And poor Nat just kind of whines and complains most of the movie until Henry is okay. She takes some initiative more so towards the end when she's like, okay, I'm going to look after Henry, so I'm going to fight all these monsters and build these iron golems in the final scene. But it's all kind of lame, it's just not really funny, and it misses the mark for what the movie is about. It's why I'm so conflicted talking about this movie, because there's so much good shit that is in here, and then there's some moments that are so absurdly awful that it makes it almost impossible to recommend this movie. It makes me sound so lame that I am recommending this movie, yet I hope via this video I've been able to display some of the strengths of the movie, and more than anything, just signal that it might be worth your time watching the Minecraft movie, because it is stupid, absurd fun. If it's not your cup of tea, I would also recommend Napoleon Dynamite. It's the same director, it has that stupid, absurd sense of humor, and although it has like cringy moments in it, it has its own brand of it. It's probably not as bad as the Minecraft movie's lows. We also get a cheeky sequel tease where, no way, it's Alex, a player 2 has been introduced to the movie. So we kind of know where it's going with the sequel. I mean, I think it made actually $1 billion, so it was inevitable. It's Minecraft, it's done well. This is a book on the history of Minecraft's development I would also thoroughly recommend given a read, because this kind of goes behind the scenes and shows that even with the development of the game, it was a bit chaotic and a bit absurd at points. The book's really good in going into like feedback and reception as well of Minecraft throughout its development, especially during its alpha and its beta, and how they paid a lot of attention to audience reception before adding more features to the game. Some parts of Minecraft's development even represent things like that, like the mob vote, for instance, that we usually get. At least I think we still do. It's been a bit, forgive me, I'm old. The reason I mention that is because the game itself seems to celebrate the absurd and often wacky moments that can arise within it. And I think the movie does a fantastic job of that. It recognizes its own artificiality, it knows it's stupid, it knows it's absurd, but it tries to make you laugh. And be it laughing because it's actually funny and well written, or laughing because it's so horrendously awful and cringeworthy, you are still laughing a lot throughout the movie. And I think that's a really good thing. I really think the worst parts of this movie are when it tends to be way too serious with its material. And I actually have the perfect example to show this done to such an extreme degree that it was quite a painful experience. And this is something a lot of people don't know. This is not Jack Black's first Minecraft role. So this is Minecraft the Island. This was published in 2017 with an audiobook version released in 2018. Narrated by Jack Black.
Turns out I didn't need more torches just yet. It wasn't long before I broke through onto the other side and saw that the sun was dipping below the horizon. See? I shouted over to the cow and the sheep. The way is working, said the white sheep.
You can hear it in snippets of the audio, but it really is Jack Black with a Jack Black delivery. And it's just so funny to uncover this. Thank you to my stream crowd that recommended this. But I also want to say a massive apologies to those of you who recommended this, because this book is horrendous. Oh my god, this book is so serious and to the letter with its source material. Jack Black is physically transported into the world of Minecraft. I'm going to say Jack Black for this, by the way. It's not actually Jack Black, but its nameless character is transported into the world of Minecraft for what is Robinson Crusoe on a desert island. And it's treated with such sincerity throughout to really make you feel the stakes of the world of Minecraft. It's like, oh god, there's a zombie and it's gonna kill me. That it's agonizing and painful to read. I don't know who this book is for at all. But this book takes a lot of time to explain the mechanics of Minecraft. It has lengthy passages that go on to why Jack Black can only hit a block 4 blocks away from him. Or when he picks up a clump of seeds. There's 6 seeds and they seem to have space and they're all clumped together and they levitate. And the book is full of this mindless meandering where Jack Black is like, what? That's weird. What are the rules of this world? Oh, that's so strange. I gotta work it out to survive. This book is obviously written for children, but that's no excuse because there are much better children's books that I could absolutely recommend over this. And I'm quite surprised as well. It's a scathing critique. This is written by the guy who did World War Z, which is actually not a bad book. But this is agonizing. I don't know who this book is for because if you are a child reading this and you love Minecraft, I think you'd rather just play Minecraft than read this. This book is really boring and it just goes to agonizing lengths to describe the mechanics of Minecraft. If you don't know what Minecraft is, this book is probably just really confusing. The only audience I can think of for this book is kids who are not allowed to play more Minecraft right now because they've had too much screen time, and so their parents have picked this up for them. Be like, yeah, just read your book, Timmy. Just read your book. Granted, it's still a boon to get kids reading these days, but there's better books to get kids reading, you know? Like, just because it's for kids doesn't mean it has to be bad. This was agonizing. Only slightly saved for me because it's Jack Black reading it in a Jack Black delivery. So it's at least mildly entertaining with the audiobook. But I cite this as a reference for the Minecraft movie could have been a lot worse. If the Minecraft movie had been treated with all of the seriousness that this book delivers, it would have been such a miserable time. And funnily enough, the worst moments of the Minecraft movie are when it tries to be way too serious and sincere, which this book does the entire fucking runtime. I really don't like this. There's so much better out there. And it's so boring. It's just so boring. It's an agonizing amount of detail where Jack Black is basically at a crafting table being like, well, I put the sticks here, and then I took this stick away. And then a chest popped up, and I was like, huh, that's weird. I didn't know I could craft that. Okay, let's get more creative. It's so painful. And I'm really sorry to my audience that recommended this because I went in with quite an open mind and I was thinking, oh, I'm really going to enjoy this. This is like a spiritual prequel in a way to the Minecraft movie because it is Jack Black trapped in the world of Minecraft, you know? Like, there's some parallels to be drawn there. But this ain't it, Chief. Go see the movie. Don't bother with that one. Thankfully, the movie is not like that. The movie is stupid and absurd, and it recognizes that it's stupid and absurd. It recognizes more than anything that it wants to entertain you. And truth be told, even looking at the movie and some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and even just the amount of love and care that was put into the world of Minecraft that you can see in this film, I think it's very clear that a lot of people liked working on this movie. I'd like to think this was quite a fun movie to be involved with. I am simply a guy on the internet, so I don't know the ins and outs of movie production, but from what I can see, it seems like folks had a good time. One of the behind-the-scenes bits I know is that they made a Minecraft server for like the staff and the actors to just play on between shoots and that, and just be more familiar with the world that is Minecraft, which is honestly really sweet. It just kind of shows that they're engaging with the source material, and I actually am unironically excited for the sequel. I hope it's funny. I hope it's not forced. I hope it's good. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is literally my first time doing something like this. If you enjoyed this video, I don't usually do it because I feel like I'm like begging for it, but consider leaving a like or even just a comment if you would like to see more. This took so much more work to put together than my usual stuff. It was very fun to put together. I would like to do it again, but you know, if people just hate it, then you know, it's just good to know that too. So if you enjoyed it, please let me know. You know, as like I'm happy to do more like this, but if people really hated it, then let's not. I can get back to video games, that's fine. I just wanted to do something fun and different and try and push myself for content. I've never done a video essay before, but I watch a lot of people who do. Much love to Joseph Anderson, Super Eye Patch Wolf, H Bomber Guy. I really like their content, so I thought I'd just give it a shot. I'm gonna go make a nice meal for myself from the Minecraft cookbook. There's a recipe for a chicken jockey sandwich in here. I'm not even making that up. Goodbye! I'm not sure where to insert this footage of me holding the Minecraft sword. I feel like this is something I forgot to use. Chloe, feel free to edit this however you like. Maybe put me into an epic battle sequence. Holy fuck, is that a-